journal on when you go to bed, when you take naps, right? Because one thing we need to understand that the all is mind and the mind is all, right? And we don't really train our minds as much. We might go to the gym and work out, but we don't train our minds as much. And I need us to understand that if we want to grow spiritually, it's about growing our minds and raising our vibration, right? But that takes from times and periods of a work of learning, of building yourself up, understanding yourself, because it's so much shit out here that's like distracting you and taking you away from your purpose, right? Because to understand the goal of the hero's journey is to understand your purpose of why you're here. And most people don't understand why they're here. Most people don't have a purposeful day. Most people kind of just wake up and just go to work and come back home. And I'm not knocking people that's going to work. I want you to understand that if your goal and your purpose is centered around your job, then that's your purpose, right? But most people are not doing their job like the job that they're supposed to be doing, right? Now people are not doing that. And some spirits can help us get a job, but like most of us are not aware of that. So for us to get aware of that, we need to embark on the journey. And to start on that journey is to start doing the dream work, right? The dream work and understanding how your mind, right, your subconscious mind. That I think we need to like focus on that more than we focus on our conscious mind. We worry about remembering and learning stuff, whereas in our subconscious mind is where all the long term memories are at. Short term memory is the conscious mind. We got too many thoughts we get in a day for us to not be journaling, for us to not keeping track of our thoughts and our mental modalities. Because if we don't, we're gonna be stuck in places of last year. We're gonna be stuck in the places of, right, like, oh, I could have got that done, but this has happened to me at that point in time. And it's only because the reason why certain things happen to us at those times is because we was fucking off. It's because we wasn't doing what we were supposed to do. It's because we was ignoring spirit, right? If you watched last night's episode, it's Uranus opposed the moon. So you already got this fight within yourself that's happening that you're choosing to ignore because, one, we always have a spiritual war. We're always in a spiritual war. What if it's against entities of this higher power and this government, and whereas it's to the simple archons within our body, down to the simple things that we believe in that's creating our reality. Because if we don't attack that, we're gonna be doing the same things from last year, right? And most people, they don't have nootropics, right? Most people don't have nootropics. I thought my phone was gonna fall. I was gonna turn it to Neo and be. But yeah, most people don't have nootropics in their life to help change their mind, to help activate subconscious thoughts, right? And that's what the point. That's the point of having herbs support, family. Having herbs is that reason to help activate certain parts of your mind and your body. See, when Solomon was building the temple, we think and how we got every laid out facets in the temple. See, the temple was a distraction. The real temple is this. This is the real temple. This is the real temple. I'm not even trying to flex the fit. This is just the temple. So I need you to understand that a lot of us lack the enthusiasm. A lot of us lacks the spirit. A lot of us lack the mindset. Because for me, family, to get up here and to talk about these things, like people look at me like I'm a fool, right? And that brings me to the fool card, tarot, right? When we talk about tarot and astrology, we're talking about tools that help you understand your life, right? Because magic is based around all these tools, right? Science. When we do science, that's a form of magic, and what we're using a lot of tools in science. So for someone to be like, oh, you ain't shit without those tools, like you mad at me because I'm using something that is able to help all of us, not just one person, right? So I'm telling you this, guys, because we got to think about all these things around us that we can use help to help us be on track, to study, to grow our spiritual life, right? Because to another man's trash is another man's treasure. So people might think this information I'm talking about is trash. That's cool. So another man is gonna be treasure. To another man, right? he might not know his spiritual foundation. He might know that he's not a spiritual being. So he gonna be fucking off in his purpose. He gonna want to be a dope dealer. He gonna want to be a drug dealer, right? And some people are here for that, right? Some people have these possession, these spirits within them that's causing them to live these past lives, right? Right. So if you want to be a dope boy in your past life, you was probably on that type of stuff that what made you want to do it, or you got possessed by something that started making you do those things, you know. So, and we all been possessed in some way, shape, or form, and done things, and we thought it was cool until that one person whacked us out of it and be like, "You be doing that? You be putting your dick in apple pies? You really be doing that? Like." Like it's, somebody will wake you up out of the shit you be doing, and you be like, "Whoa!" Like I feel so stupid for doing that. And that's how you feel on your spiritual journey. You will get to learning stuff. You get to doing things. You be like, bro, I was a real crash out. Like I was crashing out every day thinking it was cool. That is not cool. Crashing out is not cool, right? Because like most of the times we get in these thoughts and we get in these places and we don't think about the journey, not at all, bro. Like, what's the journey for you? And you can figure that out by doing the dream work. Because a person could kick you some cool astrology, a person could kick you some cool ass information, but the real work is in your dreams. That's going to your inner world is the real place. Seeing what your subconscious mind has for you. But most of the time we're not building that space. And to build that space we have to get incense, we got to get herbs, right? And cultivate the practice. Because our imagination is key. Our imagination is what's helping us grow. But it's people who's trying to put your imagination in a box. It's people who's demystifying all these things about your spiritual life that you should be doing, right? I got a whole altar in my room on my windowsill. I'm pretty sure there's been so many people that came into my room and been like, "What is this? What is this shit on his window?" This nigga got this big ass jar of water. This nigga got a cauldron. He got hella candles. He got about like 3, 4 different tarot decks on his car. Like, and it's because, and like, you know, I even got one of my jiu-jitsu uniforms on my altar. And why am I saying this? Why am I bringing this up? Because your practices is the key to your foundation, right? I be going outside barefooted, straight grounded, straight building access to my root chakra, trying to activate my Kundalini energies by literally going into nature and tapping in. But we don't think that's spiritual at all. Like sitting in the park and smoking some weed, we don't think that's spiritual. We don't. We just think that we just trying to find a place to get high. But people be interacting with straight spirits. And I just feel like to understand simple works of this shit starts with reading shit like this. Cause I feel like until you get this book, and I keep bringing, see, I bring this book up. I bet sometimes when y'all see me keep bringing the same book up, it's because I know you don't got it. It's because I know you haven't read it. If you have read it, niggas been coming back to me saying, bro, I see why y'all talk about John D so much. I see why y'all talk about Jason Love so much. It's because until you really step into these practices in your life and you understand how you being like, so think about theatrics, right? Because in this time, around this age period, they had strong theatrics in Europe. And Europe knew how to use sound effects. They knew how to take your mind to another place and fill these people up with these beliefs. See, you had the church. We don't talk about how the church got a chokehold on us, right? Because the church has taken our main beliefs and thrown them in a box and told us what we couldn't do and can't do. There's a lot of people who believe in Jesus, and I asked, do you have an altar to Jesus? They like, we're not supposed to do that. But I'm like, damn, Moses, all these people had altars. They had all these things working with Christ. They were sacrificing all these beasts on the land, right? And when we think about the altar, we need to come to the altar and sacrifice our lower self. We need to give, like, the reason why the altar work is hard is because we're not doing the journaling work, right? I'm not even finna say shadow work. I'm not even finna get into that because it's like, one, I don't have my shadow work book on me to read that stuff to you. Two, I'm not gonna just keep. I don't want to fill your mind up with all these fucking um uh words and informations and sciences. Whereas in like, I need you to go into your sleep tonight and forget all this noise that you hear and quiet your mind. And I need you to have a problem when you go to bed. Not create a problem, but solve a problem. See, we don't put enough trust in ourselves, right? Because I'm having a problem right now, and it's a problem for me trying to create something. You know how I'm gonna solve that problem? I'm going to make sure I stop eating around a certain time. I'm going to make sure I use the bathroom. I'm drinking like at least 2 or 3 cups of mugwort. It's it's a lot of herbs that you can take to help activate your dreams. You can even burn certain herbs before you go to bed. And I'm telling you these things because we always had that grandma that was burning these herbs for some reason. Like, cause I'm pretty sure your grandma had a lot of incense before she got that nasty plug in from the wall, right? When she started using all them incense, you be like, damn, grandma, it always smells so good in here. It's because grandma was burning them spirits in the house. Grandma was staging the house down on the low, but she burning the incense because back in the day, some of the spirituality, some of the things that we did was in the norm until more things got taken away, until more so-called new things start taking into place where we forget about stuff, where we don't do certain things no more. We got into the age where we don't really make our food at home no more. That's how spirituality is. Spirituality is not something you do in your home anymore. It's where you go out and you try to look good, and it's not about that. Because if you don't got no bread, no nothing, then it's like, how am I supposed to start my spiritual practices? And it's about being sincere. See, last night we was talking about water magic. I wrote this symbol on my water, and I've been drinking it with a tent. And it's like, I'm gonna keep doing this because until we get into the mindset about our practices and making them are a day-to-day thing, because these practices are meant to help you become the person you're wanting to be. These practices are here to make you meet your higher self. But we don't think like that when it comes to spiritual things. We get up on these websites and we hear these people talk good, and then we never do the work after. We just go to someone else and be like, yeah, 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 knowledge is power and power is knowledge, yeah. And it's not about that. It's not about flexing. If you got a community of people that you can share with, go ahead. If you don't, join the Discord. Join the Discord where we talk about these spiritual things. Also, we upgrading Discord. We're gonna add more things to it. Meditations, candle work, herbal work, book readings, watch parties, gaming. Like, it's more things to Discord that we added. And it's like we could have had that in the beginning, but we wanted to be coming from a whole place, coming from a place where like we really want to put people together and not just have people in the Discord just there being there. We want people really like show out, show your ass. Like, don't show your ass. Don't. What I mean by that is like, show your content, express yourself, talk with everybody. Cause when we bring this mastermind group in there, that's a group that we ain't playing no games with. That's the group that we want everybody to be working in, and really coming in from a place of mind like, all right, for this mastermind group that I joined with the initiates, I'm going to make sure I have a plan for my business. And even if I don't have a plan, when I join this group, I'm going to work every day to build up my business, to have a plan, to have a viewpoint, to have my business is going to bring a solution to people. Like, because when we do this stuff, it's not about just us. I need y'all to get that. We don't do this shit just for us. We do this shit for everybody who actually knows they are spiritual being. They have a creative outlook, and they know they're trying to become someone. They're trying to become their higher selves. They're trying to display their purpose in their life. And I get up here and I'm talking to the niggas that's 21, 35. If I'm hitting people that's older and stuff, thank you for listening to me, and thank you for to taking your time to sit here with me. And any other time you watch my content is because I know how it feels to not have no grip over your life, not to understand what are you here for, not to understand what are you doing to have people tell you about the world and sell you these fake images. Because when we think about an image is something that is not there. So how many images in our life that's right in front of us that is not real or true, family? It's a lot. So I'm telling you this because you need to take control of your life today. If you can't change out certain things, what you can take control of is your inner world. I need you to realize that when you get in the car or when you drive in places, most of the time it's your inner world that's taking you there, right? And we think we can control in the car, but we're not. And I'm talking metaphorically about the spiritual drive, because it's like right now, if you feel like you don't like where you at in your life, I need you to understand that you've been bullshitting, and it's okay, because I've been bullshitting too, and I'm here to hold myself accountable, and the people who's trying to work with me to hold us accountable, because we are a team. We it's See, it's these thoughts that we get to think that we by ourselves, that we don't need nobody here, or we could do it all on our own. It's not about that. It's about setting your roots, giving your foundation, and then finding your soul tribe. Because when I found mine, until I found mine, I was out here thinking I didn't need nobody. I was out here thinking that it's just me, it's me and soul and spirit versus the world, Craig. Like I don't need, I'm type flight security of the world, Craig. Until I'm getting my ass beat, I'm yelling Craig, Craig, and I get home and I'm just blaming on him. Yeah, he let me get jumped. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we try to do God. We try to be out here alone. We ask God for help. God sends us amazing people, and then but thing is, we be hurt and traumatized. So when these people come into our life, we hurting them, we arguing with them, we doing all these negative things towards them, and then we wonder why nobody don't want to work with us. We wonder why nobody don't want to talk to us. We wonder why nobody don't really want to give us ideas anymore, because we don't want to chase after them, or we don't want to say, hey, yo, the idea you gave me, I flipped it and turned it. So you gave me spelt flour, or you gave me flour, so I made bread, and then I gave you the bread, and then somehow your ass came out with this jam and butter, so I put the jam and butter on the bread, and I learned how to make a gourmet sandwich with it. That's how your team should be. Me and my team, we send stuff, we told each other back and forth. Boom, we make a play on this. Boom, we make an idea on this. Boom, we write an article on that. So it is like, if you don't have a team, that's fine. Maybe you need to start talking in Discord and talk to people about, hey, I'm working on this. Who wants to help? Or hey, what can I do to help people today? Or anything, because there's so many people out here with these amazing ideas, this amazing creativity, and they're not using it. And it's sad. Like, don't let no creativity get wasted. Don't, like, any ounce of creativity you have, you need to put that shit down. You need to get it out your system, because unwasted creativity brings sorrow, sadness, uh you realizing that you never chased your desires. Like, you're gonna feel like this because at a young age we wanted to do so much and we couldn't do it, and then we got to a certain age that we could do it, but we still didn't do half the things because we didn't have the money or the creative outlook to really say, I'm gonna make this happen even though I don't got this money, right? It's a certain part right now I'm working on within my business to build, and it's like this thing just costs too damn much, and it's like, it's okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. I've been taking herbs and drinking. I've been writing in my journal, and every time I wake up and when I go to bed, I'm like, okay, this is the plan, this is the solution. Just a while ago, we was having trouble with something. The guys talking about, I went to sleep, and this is what my subconscious mind told me. So this is what we need to do. And we've been doing it. It's been getting shit done. So I need you to think like that for your hero's journey. Because if you don't know where to start in your hero's journey, you need to start decoding your dreams. That's the first part of your hero's journey. Understanding the prophecy that you have for yourself. Jesus had a prophecy. Elijah had a prophecy. Moses had a prophecy. Enoch had a prophecy. So why all these people got these prophecies and you don't? Loki. Loki. See, think about Loki, right? We're going to talk about Loki a little bit. Loki, and spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's been out for a while, so you should have seen this. But Loki, he was trying to figure out where he was supposed to be. He said he had a glorious purpose. I was destined with a glorious purpose. See, that's how y'all need to step onto the field. You might be out here doing it wrong, until you realize, like, okay, I'm doing it right now, because that's how Loki was. Because he ended up dying, but he died, and that death really didn't end him. That death bring him to a new place. So if you don't know where to start, right? If you're having trouble with your dreams, now you need to build an altar so you can accumulate energy. So you can bring that energy to your altar, and you can bring that energy within yourself, and then you sacrifice your old self, and then you find a spirit to work with, or you find an ancestor to work with. But I recommend an ancestor, because that's gonna ground you more than working with a spirit. So with that, the altar work, sacrifice your ego, sacrifice yourself, and then do the dream work. Sit at your altar sometimes. Don't get on your phone. Read a book. If you're not reading a book, sit there and meditate. If you're not gonna read a book, you sit there and meditate. Journal. If you're not gonna journal, burn some herb. Breathe in and breathe out. Do breathing practices. There's so many things you can do at your altar. So I'm gonna start doing things called time at the altar or sitting with my cauldron. I used to do that. I used to like come up here, have the cauldron, and I sit down and I'll read passages and all that. So I'm gonna have to start bringing that back because having this work is the subline and be all for our spiritual and hero journey. So thank you, thank you, thank you for watching and sitting and joining. I know I go on these rants sometimes, but I just wanted to talk about spiritual teams and the work and just a little bit of what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to incorporate. Because most people most people believe they're spiritual beings, but they don't have a YouTube. They're not expressing themselves. They're not creating their platform, right? You can want to sell fingernail polish and talk about fingernail polish, but don't nobody ain't nobody gonna care if you're not gonna talk about it like you care. Ain't nobody gonna watch it if you don't post it. So it's just like that's what I'm getting up for doing. Cause 2021, 2022, I should have been up here way more and working harder, and I've been where I'm supposed to be at now. So if you don't want to be at where you're supposed to be now, that didn't make sense. If you want to be at where you're supposed to be, do the work. Quit playing. Quit caring what other people say. I'm hiding that I eat certain things, and like not like eating bad, but like the things that's good for me, I hide because I don't want nobody try to come into me and tell me, oh, you should be eating this. You an athlete, bro, or you should be doing. And it's like I know what I'm doing for my body, and it's like I was doing it before, and then I stopped because I let these demons on the outside of me trick me. People shaping in different forms coming up to me, tricking me until I start saging things down and start waking up. And my brothers came into my life and telling me like, "Hey D, you gotta change, you gotta do better." And I'm like, "Bro, you right." And I realized like that's just more of my brothers. That's real spirits and ancestors coming through them and talking to me. And it's like if you guys don't see it like that for yourselves, then good luck. But until you choose to see that some of your ancestors, some of these angels coming to help you and talk to you, that's when you can start being like, okay, like I'm in my purpose, like I'm doing the work. Because when you're doing it, you're gonna be like, whoa. And when you train your subconscious mind, that's what I'm gonna do a video on. We're gonna talk about attacking and training subconscious mind. Because one card that speaks about that is the Nine of Cups. Be careful what you wish for. I promise you, boy. Most people that got that Nine of Cups deacon in their chart, they be bringing on things upon themselves that they didn't know they could. So, and I said I was gonna give a lot of reading, so here I am. So I'm gonna pull these cards out, and then I'm gonna shake out. Hold up, I'm trying to go in my book bag, y'all. Don't leave it. Don't leave it. And then tonight I'm gonna do some more live stream yards, and we can have some people jump onto the stream yard, and we'll talk and chit chat, and I'll do a live reading for you, where it be tarot card, and I'm gonna post it so you can see it, so you can get in and be ready for it. And I'll even bring the initiates with me so they can do it with you too. And then, because a lot of people want to hear a reading from all three of us, all four of us. So that's something we just gonna have to do more. So I'm rocking with the Thoth Tarot deck, made by Aleister Crowley, decoded by Lon Milo Duquette, and Frida Harris did the artwork on these cards. So I'm gonna go ahead, get the shuffling, and pull a card. I'm not even gonna ask nothing. I'm gonna pull a card and read the energy, because sometimes most people when they ask about tarot reads for me, or they want a reading from me, I usually tell them, like, have a question, have something you want to ponder on, ask something that you really want to like dig into. And like some people don't, like sometimes some people feel like they're on the spot, so like sometimes I have to like pull the energy out and like really dissect it for them, let them know what their higher selves is telling them, because it's like with this energy and understanding, like sometimes you might be in a place where you just don't know what to think next for yourself, or you don't know how to attack next for yourself. And I get that, and it's difficult. It's difficult because like you have to take your mind out the conscious space that it's in, and most of the conscious space that we're in is in a place of survival. It's in a place of survival. So until you get your mind out of that survival state, and then you really sit down and like put your mind here. And that's why we have these planets in the heavens to help us develop a certain type of consciousness that we need. Hence why I'm doing Jupiter water magic. Like literally putting Jupiter on all my bottles and drinking it. And really my favorite planet is Mars, but I'm working with Jupiter a little bit today, and I just been drinking nothing but like trying to get wisdom into my mind, really trying to pour my higher self into me, because it's like my higher self talks to me all the time, and then it's like I try to ignore it sometimes. It's like I can't. I gotta hear what higher self is telling me, what soul is telling me. So I've been shuffling up these cards. Let me go ahead and pull some. Let me go ahead and shake some. Pause. I ain't shaking nothing but that water. Uh, anything. But yeah, be ready, cause we're gonna do some more live reads tonight with the initiates. Cause I know a lot of people like that. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like live readings? Who doesn't? I love live readings. Readings are fire, guidance and everything. So let's go ahead. I hope y'all ready, because we finna get into it. And the card of the day is ooh yeah. So first and foremost, shout out to the Hierophants Book Club. For real, shout out to the Hierophants Book Club. Right. So in this picture, this is a representation of Aso above, Aso below, and then we also have the energy of the four Cuberic beasts representing the modalities of man, right? But the thing about the Hierophant, right, that we need to understand is the lessons in life that we need to bring into ourselves, right? The guru, right? The teacher within us that we need to bring out. Because I need you to understand, when it comes to this spiritual work, it's also the spiritual studies that you must engage yourself in, right? Because if you don't have like a little this right here, this is the magic book. This right here, this is the personal journal, right? And I even got the plan. I ain't gonna bring all that out. But why am I saying this? Because it's like I need you to understand a Hierophant, right? A Hierophant is always keeping his studies in order and intact. And the spiritual journey, you must decode. You must spiritually decode what's going on around you. And if you don't spiritually decode what's going on around you, then how can you really walk through this world that's meant to misguide you? Like if you don't know what's going on in this world today, you are a child. See, I had to realize how much of a child I was being, because I didn't want to know what's going on in the world. I wanted to be ignorant towards it. But a Hierophant understands his world. He understands the above and the below. As so above, as so below. Because when we think about the Star of David, the Star of David represents the four elements, is also talking about spirit. So spirit sitting at the top, and then having water, fire, earth, and air. Those four elements also represent the four stages of consciousness: alpha, theta, gamma, beta. Like we need to really realize that all this spiritual knowledge around us is the spiritual tools to activate our life, to activate the Kundalini energy, right? And I want to look. I always take notes on the cards, right? And like with the Hierophant, I need you to understand that it really speaks to find a spiritual master, right? Doing your religious studies. And your spiritual master is not these niggas on these channels or these Instagrams. Your spiritual master is your God. Your spiritual master is your soul. You can find wisdom in your soul every day. It doesn't take long. I promise you. It don't. It For you to have a strong trance in your meditation. Meditate for 15 minutes. How longer, the more you practice, the easier it is for you to get in a trance. But you need to build this meditational trance so you can talk to your higher self. So you can talk to these spirits that's around you to give you game. So I'm gonna do another card, right? Study, create knowledge around your spiritual life, and activate your spiritual life with your studies by activating your soul, which is your spiritual master. Seven of Swords, right? When we get sevens, black people. But no, that's how sevens are. Cause it's like you have an unbalanced energy, right? And with the swords, you're stuck in this mental place that's where you having like a certain bit of a confusion, right? So with all this spiritual knowledge and all this spiritual information, it's gonna cause you a little bit confusion. But if you're not tapping into your inner world, you won't deal with confusion. You'll know what is truth because real truth is within your inner world. When we deal with truth outside in the outer world, every truth has a lie to it, and every lie has a truth to it. So you're gonna be stuck in that realm. But if you go into your inner world, you're gonna have truth. I promise you that. When you meet the face of God within yourself, you're gonna have truth. I promise you that. But we don't give ourselves truth. We don't give ourselves wisdom because we try to confide in other people. And confiding comes like to have confidence and have trust. You have to have it in yourself. You have to trust yourself first before you trust anybody outside yourself. Before you trust anybody else, you have to trust yourself first, right? Like you probably want to buy something from somebody or have somebody meet up with you, but you had had so many trauma and experiences. And I'm not talking about meet up to do the nasty. I'm talking about meet up to make plans and do business and to have intentional work with somebody. So it's like if you're not doing that place, of course you're gonna be on some futile shit. Futility. You're gonna be on some futile shit trying to really be in a confused place doing dumb things. So it's like don't do that because seven is also a divine number. So if you get this card in the reading, yeah, you might be doing some futile things, but I need you to think about as so above, as so below. Understand the opposite of other things. So when you change your perspective, when you're on the other side of this, because we're dealing with Aquarius, we're dealing with mental energies, right? Look at that Aquarius symbol right there, right? So we're dealing with mental energy. So when you control over your thoughts and you surrender to your higher self, that's when the noise will stop and the futility will go away within your actions. Last one, y'all, and I'm done. I'm done bothering y'all because it's like if I didn't get up here and talk, it shows how much I didn't care about my growth and my business to build myself and to connect with others. So last card, that's crazy. That's crazy. So look, we was dealing with the princess of wands. Now we're dealing with the queen of wands. And like I need you to understand the queen is the watery aspect, right, of fire. So the knights represent fire, the queens represent water, the princes represent earth, and the princes represent air. So we're dealing with the watery aspect of fire. So just know that like when you think of this energy and when you think of this card, right? So last time what I didn't explain about court cards is that court cards, dealing with knights, kings, princes, right? They represent sometimes a person's ascendant sign or rising sign or birth sign to this might govern them a certain type of sign, right? But what I'm trying to tell you that you're going to interact with other people. Sometimes that's what the court cards represent. So when we think about the Queen of Wands, we're thinking about a woman who is literally in her purpose, right? A princess, a princess is still trying to figure out how to become a woman. She's still trying to wake up from the dream. Whereas the Queen of Wands is a woman who's awake. She knows her power. She knows her weaknesses, but she uses her strengths to build her weaknesses. So as for the people who are listening to this, and when you're thinking about the Queen of Wands, first do your studies on tarot so you understand the four Kabbalistic worlds, because the Queen of Wands connects to them, and she sits on Benai, right? She's sitting in the Great Mother of Saturn, in the Great Womb. So it is in Wands too. So I need you to think about this creative process that you need to put yourself on to become this queen, to become this woman who has the cheetah sitting next to her. She has her hand on that cheetah, so she's controlling her lower self, controlling her lower impulses, right? She knows that her womb brings her strength. She knows what to do with her womb. So I need you to get into womb magic, right? Because I'll be telling the men right now to do semen retention, but we don't have the Knight of Wands right now. We have the Queen of Wands. So I need you to realize that as a queen, you don't take no shit. But as a queen, you are graceful and wise, right? So for the men, as I said this yesterday, this represents the feminine aspect within yourself. So a lot of you niggas say, I ain't no queen. I'm a king. I'm a king. I ain't no queen. Of course you not a queen, bro. You a king, but how many men ignore their anima within themselves? How many men do that? A lot. How many men are actual sassy as fuck? Right? You wouldn't be so sassy if you learn how to handle your anima within you. And then you'll know how to tap into your sassiness. But it's like, I need you to understand that the creation process starts on you. So for you to be the king and the queen, yesterday we was realizing that a lot of us are prince and princesses, and that's fine. But to be a king and a queen, you have to start doing the integrative work, the hero's journey, right? Because everyone is a hero, and you're the hero of your life. So I need you to realize this is energy of preparing your future self. Because today, you know, yesterday, Alex, right? I can go eat a whole bunch of junk, right? But if I'm thinking about future Alex, and I'm thinking about me for tomorrow, I'm not gonna eat that stuff. I'm gonna make sure I'm able to wake up, because within my purpose, I'm a spiritual warrior. So as a spiritual warrior, I have to watch what I put in my body. I have to watch what I put in my mind. I have to really think about the things that I do and the things that I say, because it affects me and others. I had to be diplomatic. That's what that reading told me from those three cards: the Hierophant, Futile, the Seven of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. We have a major arcana dealing with destiny, dealing with your path. Major arcana, like, it's gonna happen no matter what. So you being a studious, smart, intelligent being is going to happen. Are you going to make some mistakes and be in futility, sometimes not thinking right, sometimes having actions that don't serve you? Yes. But a king or a queen, when they step into their purpose and they do the work, they'll sit on that throne like Loki did. Loki sat on that throne under that tree, looking like this, cool as hell. He like, man, I'm finally in my purpose. And guess what? The journey don't stop. Now he has a forever mission that he must sit on the throne and do and complete. So for us to get there to the throne, we must realize what we need to do today in the present moment. Ashe.